Good morning, everyone. This is your mathematics class of grade 8, chapter 8, comparing quantities, and this is my lecture number 11. In this lecture number 11, I will be discussing the assignment solutions. So today's key points are assignment 1 solution of chapter 8, comparing quantities. So let us see question number 1. Question number 1 says find the compound interest on rupees 50,000 at 4% per annum for 2 years compounded annually. Dear children, this question is from the concept of compound interest, and we need to find the compound interest using the given principle. This is your principle. This is your rate of interest and this is the time given to you, and we need to find the compound interest, and we know the formula to find the compound interest. Let us see now how to solve this question. So principal is given to you as 50,000, time is 2 years, rate is 4% per annum, and we know the formula that amount is equal to principal bracket 1 plus r over 100 raised to the power n. This is the formula for calculating the amount. So putting the values in the formula, it will be 50,000 bracket 1 plus 4 over 100 raised to the power 2. After cancelling 4 over 100, I will be getting 1 over 25. So equation will be now amount is equal to 50,000 bracket 1 plus 1 over 25 raised to the power 2. So after solving the bracket, it will be 50,000 into 25 plus 1 over 25 raised to the power 2. Then 50,000 into 26 over 25 into 26 over 25. It will be written twice because number of years are given to you as 2 years. So after solving, after cancelling out or after multiplication of numbers given to you, you will be getting the amount as 54,080. Now we need to find the compound interest, and we know the formula that compound interest is given by amount minus principal. So putting the values, amount is 54,080, we have calculated, minus 50,000 is the principal. So it will be 4,080. Simple as this. So this was a very simple question. Simply it was based on the concept of compound interest, in which we are supposed to calculate the compound interest, and the interest is being compounded annually. And we know compound interest is given by the formula amount minus principal, and we know the formula of amount is given by amount is equal to principal bracket 1 plus r over 100 raised to the power n, that is equal to number of years. N is the number of years, p is the principal, r is the rate of interest, and a is the amount. So I hope this question is clear to you. Coming to question number 2. Question number 2 is, if 90% of x is 315 kilometer, find the value of x. So let us see now how to solve this. 90% of x is 315 kilometer, and we know that percentage is a special fraction in which denominator is always 100. So we will be writing like 90 over 100 into x is equal to 315 kilometer. That is according to the question, or 315 simply you have written here. Then x will be 315 into 100 over 90. This 100 will be multiplied to 315, and 90 will be written in the denominator. So it will be 315 into 100 over 90. So after cancelling out the zeros of 100 and 90, you will be getting 315 into 10 over 9. That will be equal to 350. So if 90% of x is equal to 315 kilometer, then the value of x is equal to 350. Now question number 3. Avinash bought an electric iron for rupees 900 and sold it at a gain of 10%. Here CP of, there are two electric irons in this question. Let us read first of all the question completely. I'm reading it completely now. Avinash bought an electric iron for rupees 900 and sold it at a gain of 10%. He sold another electric iron at 5% loss, which was bought for rupees 1200. Find loss or gain on whole transaction. Here a person named Avinash has purchased 2 electric irons, one for rupees 900 and another for rupees 1200, and one he has sold at a gain of 10% and another at a loss of 5%. Basically, we need to find whether this person will be having a loss or gain on this complete transaction. So first of all, we need to know the SP, total SP, total CP is given to us, and gain percent in one case and loss percent in another case is given to us. So we need to find first total SP and then compare it with total CP, and then we will come to know whether there is a gain or loss. So case 1 is, I am taking electric iron 1 because two same items are there, same item is there, electric iron, here also it is electric iron, so I have written electric iron 1. First case, CP is rupees 900, gain percent is 10%. We need to find SP. SP is given by CP plus gain percent of CP, that is 900. So it will be 900 plus 10% of 900. It will give you 900 plus 10 over 100 because it was percentage, to 10 over 100 into 900. So after solving, it will be 900 plus 90, and then it will be total of 990 rupees. So total, first of all, in this first case, SP is equal to 990. Then I am taking case 2, that is the case of electric iron 2. Here in this case, CP is given to you as 1200, loss percent is given to you as 5%, and we know that SP is equal to CP minus loss percent of CP. So putting the values, 1200 minus 5% of 1200. So is equal to, that SP is equal to 1200 minus 5 over 100 into 1200. We have put the value of CP. Now it will be 1200 minus 60. It will be 1140. So the total cost paid by Avinash for purchasing the electric irons, he has purchased 2 electric irons. One for first CP is rupees 900, for another CP is rupees 1200. So total CP is 2100. And total amount received, we have calculated the SP in both the cases. In first case it was rupees 990, in second case it was rupees 1140. So the total SP is 2130. So dear children, in these types of questions, if you need to find the loss or gain percent, then you need to first of all calculate total SP and then total CP and then compare the two, and then you will come to know whether the person is having a gain or he is incurring a loss of certain amount or whatsoever it is according to the question. As in this case, in this question, SP is greater than CP, so 2130 is greater than 2100, so he is having a profit of rupees 30. So you need to subtract. We know that profit is given by SP minus CP because SP is greater in this case, so it will be 2130 minus 2100, it will be having a profit of rupees 30. Now coming to question number 4. Question number 4 is, dash is a reduction on the marked price of the article. We know that whenever it is a case of reduction, whenever it is, we are talking about the reduction, we simply means about the discount. We know that discount means reduction in the prices, and discount is always calculated on the marked price. That is your, what is the marked price? Marked price is the tag price or the price written on a printed tag which is being attached to the particular article, or the price printed on an article or written on a slip attached to it is called its marked price. So the answer will be discount. Discount is a reduction on the marked price of the article, and discount means reduction in prices, and it is defined as the amount deducted from the marked price of an article is called discount or trade discount. Question number 5. 15% increase in the price of an article which is rupees 1620 is the increase of. Here in this question, it is given that there is an increase of 15%, but price of the article is unknown to us, and this increase, after increasing the price of an article, we are getting the amount as 1620, but we need to find how much is this increase. So let us suppose y is the price of an article, because we are unaware about the price of the article. So we have taken it y. You can take any other variable. It is up to you. And according to question, as this is your increased price, so first of all we need to take the original price plus, because it has been an increase, and how much it has been increased? It has been increased by 15%. So 15%, that is 15 over 100 into y plus this original price will be equal to 1620. This will be the equation for this question, and it is very important for you to understand this equation so that you can solve the equation. And then it will be 1620 equal to, this side we have taken the LCM, it will be 100, and then it will be 100y plus 15y over 100. So it will be 1620 is equal to 115y over 100. And then this 100 will be shifted to that side. So 115y is equal to 1620 into 100. And then this will be shifted in the denominator on the other side. So it will be 1620 into 100 over 115. So after solving, you will be getting 1408.69. So this is the value after solving it, but you need to take, if you are taking it approximately, then it will be 1409, and we need to find the increase, so we are subtracting it from the original price. Original price is 1620 minus 1409, that will give you 211 rupees. So the increase in the price is 211 rupees. Coming to question number 6, the time period after which the interest is added each time to form a new principal is called the. We need to find what is this time period called when the interest is added each time to form a new principal. And children, we have learnt about the conversion period. What is this conversion period? It is the time period after which the interest is added each time to form a new principal. This is your conversion period, or the another definition of conversion period can be the time from one specified interest period to the next period is called conversion period. So the time period after which the interest is added each time to form a new principal is called your conversion period. So this is the answer. So the time period after which the interest is added each time to form a new principal is called the conversion period. Question number 7. Dash expenses are the additional expenses incurred by a buyer for an item over and above its cost of purchase. So what is this concept related to? This concept is related to profit and loss. As in comparing quantities, we have studied three concepts. One is percentage, another we have studied about profit and loss, and then compound interest. So if an article is purchased for some amount and there are some additional expenses on transportation, labor, commission, etc., these are to be included in the cost price, and such expenses are called overhead expenses or overheads. So overhead expenses are the additional expenses incurred by a buyer for an item over and above its cost of purchase. Or you can write overheads. The other name of overhead expenses is overheads, or you can write overhead expenses. As the expenses word is here already mentioned, so we need to write overhead only. Otherwise you can write overheads only. That is also correct, because we know that the other name of overhead expenses is overheads. Question number 8. Question number 8 is the marked price of an article when it is sold for rupees 880 after a discount of 12% is. We need to calculate the marked price of an article when it is being sold for rupees 880 and discount is given to you in percentage, that is 12%. So The solution, in the solution, first of all, we will write whatsoever it is given to us, that is selling price is rupees 880. Discount percent, or that is D percent, is given to you as 12%. And dear children, I told you one formula relating to SP, discount percent, and MP. We can use this formula directly, or I will be telling you another way also, using which you can solve this question. So first of all, I am using the formula. The formula is SP is equal to 1 minus D over 100 into MP, that is your mark price. And we need to find out the mark price here. You can take it another variable like X, Y, A, B, whatsoever it is. I have written it mark price only. So putting the values, SP is 880 minus is equal to 1 minus 12 over 100 into marked price. So we have put the values in the formula. This is the formula relating SP, discount percent, and marked price. So putting the values of SP and discount percent in the formula, we will be having the equation like 880 is equal to 1 minus 12 over 100 into marked price. You can write in place of marked price any other variable, or you can let it be marked price only. So after solving the bracket, it will be 880 is equal to 100 minus 12 over 100 into marked price. Then it will be 880 is equal to 88 over 100 into marked price, and then this 100 will be shifted this side. It will be multiplied with 880 into 100 over 88, that is given equal to marked price. So marked price is equal to rupees 1000. So here in this question, we have to find the marked price. Discount was given to you in percentage. Selling price was also given to you. So we have used the formula SP is equal to 1 minus D over 100 into marked price. And we have put the values of SP and discount percent to calculate the marked price. So, dear children, let us see now another way how can we solve this question. SP is given to us as 880 rupees. Discount percent is 12%. And we have taken, let Y is the marked price. We need to find the marked price. So I have taken Y. You can take any other variable also. Since discount is calculated on the marked price, then we know that it is to be subtracted from the marked price, and then we will be getting SP. So as we know that discount is being calculated on the marked price, so after subtracting discount from marked price, we get selling price. So this is what we have done here in this equation. Marked price is Y. We need to subtract the 12% of Y, that is the discount percentage of Y, to get 880, that is your SP. So marked price minus discount percent, that is D percent, that is 12 over 100 into this Y is equal to SP. So it is marked price minus discount percent, you will be getting SP. So this is the equation. I hope you have understood this equation, because we know that we need to subtract the discount from marked price, and then only we get SP, which is to be paid by the customers. So it will be 100Y minus 12Y over 100 is equal to 880. So it will be 88Y over 100, put it equal to 800, that is your SP. Now we can get the value of Y is equal to 880 into 100. This 100 will be shifted that side over 88. So 880 into 100 over 88, this will be equal to Y. So the marked price Y is equal to rupees 1000. So dear children, in this question we have learned two ways to solve this question. First of all, we have used the formula of SP, and which is relating discount percentage and marked price. This formula is SP is equal to 1 minus D over 100 into marked price. And another way, we have taken marked price as Y, and then we need to subtract the discount percentage from the marked price to get selling price. This is how we have proceeded in these two ways in this question. It is up to you. You can opt any of these two ways to solve this question. Let us see now question number 9. Question number 9 is the compound interest on rupees 8,000 for 1 year at 16% per annum compounded half yearly is, we need to find the compound interest. when the interest is being compounded half yearly, principal is given to us, time is given to us, rate of interest is given to us, and we know the concept of half yearly also, and we know how to proceed in this case. This is also given to us. The square of 1.08 is given to us, and you are supposed to use this in this question. So coming to the solution, principal is rupees 8,000, rate is 16% per annum, n is equal to 1 year. And dear children, we know that when the interest is being compounded half yearly, we need to divide the rate by 2 and multiply the time by 2, like this. 16 by 2, so rate will be 8%. N will be multiplied by 2, so it will be 2 half years. And we know the amount formula. Amount is equal to principal bracket 1 plus r over 100 raised to the power n. Putting the values, principal is 8,000, 1 plus, we have solved it, r is divided, r actually in this question was 16%, so we have divided it by 2, so it will be 8%, and n we have solved, that will be 2 half years. So solving the bracket, 8,000 in bracket 100 plus 8 over 100 raised to the power 2, it will be 8,000 into 100, 108 over 100 into 108 over 100. So, and the square of this is given to us. So we have put from this question as it is given to us in the question, and after multiplication of these two, 8,000 into 1 decimal 1664, you will be getting 9,331 decimal 2. So the amount is rupees 9,331.2. So question number 10 is, for calculation of interest compounded half yearly, keeping the principal same, which one of the following is true? So we need to find or tell whichsoever is the options given to us. Out of the 4 options given to us, which one is true in this respect when the principal is same, interest is being compounded half yearly, and we need to tell which one is true regarding compound interest out of the 4 options given to us. And we know that in case of half yearly, when the interest is being compounded half yearly, rate is to be divided by 2 and time is to be multiplied by 2. So let us see now. First option is double the given annual rate and half the given number of years. This is totally wrong. We do not do like this. We divide the rate by 2 and multiply the time by 2. Let us see second option. Double the given annual rate as well as the given number of years. This part is correct because we multiply the number of years by 2, but we do not double the annual rate. So this is again wrong. Coming to C part, half the given annual rate as well as the given number of years. This part is correct, that we half the given annual rate, but we do not half the number of years. So this is again wrong. So we are left with D option. This is your right one, that is half the given annual rate. We divide the rate by 2 and double the given number of years, and we multiply the given number of years by 2 to get the or to find the rate and n or time for when the interest is being compounded half yearly. And principal is the same, and we know the formula. A amount is equal to principal bracket 1 plus r over 100 raised to the power n, where rate is to be divided by 2 like it is given, half the annual rate, and time is to be multiplied by 2. So we have done the double of given number of years. And in case of quarterly, we know that there are 4 quarters in a year, so we need to divide the rate by 4 and multiply the time by 4. So the solution is D part, that is half the given annual rate and double the given number of years. Now coming to the homework part. Dear children, most of you must have completed this assignment number 1, but those who have completed, they can verify their answers. Those who have not completed, first of all, understand it well and then complete in your homework notebooks. I hope you have understood all the questions of this assignment number 1, and I will be giving you one more assignment of this chapter, and then there will be a test of this chapter number 8 comparing quantities on Friday. I will be publishing it on the EdQuark site. Thank you so much. So prepare well. Thank you so much.